Okay, so here we are back once again for Deadlands Cthulhu crossover Weird West gaming. As a heads up, we are probably going to actually, after this major encounter and settling down, assuming we don't have a total party kill, next time around we might even have Down Darker Trails based characters as opposed to Deadlands characters, just because the combat system is in this game is a little slow. So, all right, I'm going to switch over to some creepy music and stuff like that. So we're going to do that, and we're going to share that. And once again, if it's too loud, please tell me. And let's go with contents. Boom! All right, so there's the situation, such as it is. And I need to pull up character sheets and stuff, which I have now.
I think
and
we should try to talk reason. I think we should try to reason with it.
Little too late for that.
To be fair, I think it tried to reason with us and we just didn't listen. What was that?
There might be that, you know. And there. Okay, so oh, sugar. Well, why don't we do this because it might be really important. So
Reason.
I am full up, so you can skip me.
All right, hold on here. Let's the jingle jangle jingle.
Are we in the middle of a combat though?
Yeah, but start of every session. So Dr. Trout, 2 whites, red.
Roger. Thank you. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Mr. Larrabee.
Yep.
2 whites and a red.
Sounds familiar.
Gustav. Two whites and a blue.
All right.
And Vance.
You got this.
Patriotic.
That is my first ever blue.
Don't get used to it.
So at least I got a blue before this all ends and we go to a different
That's right.
team thing.
And the keeper gets his cut. All right. Put that down. I just wish when I went to shared screen that I could still see you all as well. But when I go to share screen, it just and fills up my entire screen. Is that with you all as well? No?
No.
I get shared and then a little strip of little photographs.
Yeah.
I wonder why I don't get that. Because that would be what I would prefer. Yeah, I don't know why I don't get that. That's odd. Probably due to some stupid setting I just don't have right. All right. Oh, here, we can do that. That helps a little bit. Yeah, now I can see you all. Okay, there we go. There was a little icon I was missing. All right, so, right, red, that is Carl. Sorry, Christopher, did you already do your terror roll?
Yes, and I passed.
Okay, yeah. And same thing for Gustav. I think you also passed yours, did you not?
I believe I did.
Okay. So at this point, draw cards. Oh, rats, that all went away again, didn't it?
So is this a fresh deck then?
Yeah, new encounter, fresh deck.
Just like the casino, you have to use a new deck every time.
But don't we draw cards based on our nimbleness or something like that? I can't remember.
You do.
Yeah, you have to roll your quickness.
We had already gotten up to that point from at least My cards indicated I got to that point last time, so I'm
Yeah.
good.
I think that's where we were.
Yeah, I know. I know. I made my tear check. And I made really good rolls at the end. So I think I must have gotten 2 as well then. All right.
Well, I need new cards. And I need to look up what my
Eh.
critter gets.
One good, one eh.
Need one more page up. There we go. So nimbleness. Yeah, so those who have not gotten their cards yet, go ahead and cycle in or cycle up your cards. Let's see. No, not nimbleness, it's quickness. Sorry, quickness, not nimbleness.
Quickness. I'm running for cough drops. Be right back.
The sheriff
Not that
misses
anything's
roll-
happening to me.
So are those you printed those, Aaron?
Well, yeah, all that
And
stuff.
then, and then you painted them as well?
Yeah.
What'd you paint them with? How'd you paint them?
A combination of different colored spray paints and then hand brush.
Very good.
So yeah, so I cheat. I use like, brown spray paint and tan spray paints, and I'll do as much of the work with spray paints as I possibly can, and then fill in with normal painting. It's not cheating. It's just doing it in an express manner.
It's called doing it expeditiously.
That's right. Okay. So aces and jokers. I'll take that as a no. I've got a king.
I have a king as well.
And I have a king, but yours,
Okay.
mine's a diamond.
Hearts. I don't know. I can't remember the
Spades. I trump you.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm in the back, so I'm probably okay for now.
All right. So with that, that's fair. And we are going to go ahead. So I'm just looking up skills here. All right.
I am moving to camera to forehead mode because I'm eating soup and it'll be gross to watch.
What kind of soup?
French onion soup. It's keto.
Yeah. Right.
Had we decided how much time had passed since the initial fight outside the entrance? I'm just trying to calculate my wind because I was pretty low on wind. I have a note here that has 11 encircled, and I think that's my current wind, but I don't know.
Let's see here. It was largely some sort of slow, semi-stealthy approaching. That was after you got kicked in the chest by the nightmare horse, right?
Now that was Vance.
I was Vance who got kicked there. Okay. So let's call it 10 minutes.
1 win per minute? I can't remember.
So yeah, so it's a fairly fast recovery.
Okay, so that
I
makes
think
sense.
5 minutes, you're full back up to wind.
And how many minutes? What if you're a 2-pack-a-day smoker? Is there a just
Yeah, I was down to 1 wind at one point.
Yeah, so it's 1 wind per minute or if you did a medical roll at a
Yep.
toughness level of 3, 5 minutes will totally recover your wind.
Okay, so if it's been about 10 minutes, then I am at 11. I know that
Yeah.
are correct. I just can't always read my own handwriting.
All right, so let's see here. Who has the highest cognition?
I'm 40-10.
I'm 48.
2d12.
That would be.
All right, you know what? Everybody, everybody roll your cognition at a difficulty of 7.
Can I play into this?
Yes. Or you can take superior hearing, one or the other, but not both.
They're both +2, so it doesn't matter.
Can you repeat that, please? The roll we're making?
So a cognition roll, if you have any augments, either hearing or seeing, you can use those at a toughness level of 7.
All right, I have 1 success and 1 explosion, or 1 raise.
1 success, 1 raise.
One
I have not
success.
yet succeeded, but I'm gonna spend a white die or a white chip.
That only
Please.
gets you re-roll. That's like if it's a tough roll, that doesn't help you much.
Let's I roll an 8,
True.
15, so 1 raise.
I passed, but no raises. 1 success, no raises.
Carl, how'd you do on that?
1 success, 1 raise.
Hog, get out of here.
All right, so pretty much everybody got a total of 1 or 2 success levels, right? Okay, well, in something of a, let's see here, and we got, he is there. So each square represents, what, 10 feet, right? So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Ooh, let's count this out.
10 feet or 6 feet?
Oh, I think, yeah, I think we were doing 6 feet because, well, yeah, little squares were 3, right? So I guess bigger squares would be 6.
So one of your dungeon tiles is 6.
Yeah, it looks like your tile is 2 small squares.
Yeah, that's
Or
fair enough.
4. 2 by 2.
Well, they're about the height of the character, so I would estimate 6.
All right.
You want me to get on my scale ruler?
No, I'm good. Got one more thing to check and then we'll move on. Sorry about the delay, but I didn't
I've
want
got some
to,
calipers if we want to measure things.
I did not want to do this.
I think I could probably get my laser and then we could scale it with an internet app. I will raise your geek. I'll up your geek and raise your geeky.
Sorry. Not going to list it.
When you just whistled, Cooper sitting next to me. He looked at the computer.
Oh, it was higher than I thought.
I have a special whistle just for my dog. It's she will respond to that. It's almost as good as well as her name, but only that particular whistle, and it's got to be done that way.
It has to be done exactly that way.
No, man, it has to be. If I vary it, if I just go, she's not going to respond. But if I do it that 3-pitch whistle, she will. It's like calling her name.
Huh.
I trained her.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's a cool thing to do.
And a quarter will give you a quarter.
There it is. No, 40-10. Once I find enough dice. Here we go. Ah, no wonder my rolls were so low. I was rolling D10s instead of D12s. Ooh, explosion.
That's never good.
16. Okay. Not to beat everybody. Okay, on its move. So the inky darkness has been around here, right? So I guess actually green, Walt.
Oh God.
So the wall of inky darkness is about here for you. right? With
Okay.
sort of whispers of ook.
Wait, so you're saying I'm at the edge of inky darkness?
Yes.
Okay, so if I like whip around my torch, I can actually see a little bit behind me.
So it beat everybody's cognition. Walt, since you're in the light,
I will sacrifice Vance. Is that,
I would like for you to roll another cognition roll at a difficulty of 7.
Ooh, 1 8. Okay, the 8 becomes 14. So is that equal 1 raise to?
Yes.
7, 14, 1 raise. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Actually, that might be like you just killed yourself by making that roll.
So
You got its attention. Nice going. Nice play.
you turn. What's that noise? Hey, perhaps the sheriff has woken up. Well, the sheriff is still knocked out, but you see this terrible creature.
Uh-oh. Do I have to
Uh,
make a horror check or something?
oh yeah, yeah. So do a guts roll with a toughness level of 9, please.
Okay, I
Sorry.
only have 2d6, so if I don't roll a d6, and then roll a 3 or more, I'm shit out of luck.
You could use a red or a blue to add a die to your roll.
My apologies. It is a toughness level of 11, not 9.
You've heard the term liquid courage, right? You're about to release some liquid fear. Right down your
You think it
trouser
works?
leg.
It's a good thing you wore your brown
So
trousers.
if I used a blue, I would basically get to add a d6 to my highest roll.
Throw some whites in then.
Toughness level of 11, not 9. Just want to make sure that you
Okay.
heard that.
I got a 6, and a 6, and a 6, and a 1. So I
Really?
actually rolled 19.
Really?
That's not even a raise. I almost got a raise, but I just rolled a 6.
It's not a raise, but these rolls don't require raises. You just got to get past the toughness level.
He was wrong. He actually meant to say you need to roll on a success level of 21.
I was like, I got a 6 and a 6 and a 6 and a 1. It's like I could have gotten a raise.
If you gotten a raise, I would have probably given you a +1 to guts.
Oh well. Still, 3 explosions. Pretty damn.
That just means you'll have more guts to eat.
Somehow I sack up for my God and my family and my country.
And we're
I
all
face
still
my
alive.
fear, and what
We
do I
also
say?
regret that you have but one life to give for your country.
I have 2 lives. I have mine plus Vance, and actually the sheriff too. So I've got plenty of people who will give their lives for me first.
Okay, so he moves a lot on that turn. That's what he does.
Apparently,
So other kings, go ahead.
I have a
What?
King of Hearts.
King of Hearts would be next. Yeah.
What do I want to shoot? How do you shoot the devil in the back? What if you miss? Little channeling my the usual suspects there. I don't know if I actually want to. I'm gonna follow it. That's all. That's my action. I'm not gonna try to agitate it by shooting it. I'm just gonna move towards the tunnel. Basically, if it looks like it's moving full tilt away from us, right? Towards the entrance of the mine, right? It went past us. It's headed right to the entrance of the mine, right?
Or it's just trapping us inside so that now it's coming at us from a direction where we cannot flee to the exit.
Now, as I
It
recall,
is-
we didn't
it
get
is-
that far. We went down and hung a right, so it must be heading towards the exit.
It is facing you.
Oh shit. Well, should I scream like? my
I'd
name
shoot
is-
it and scream like a girl.
Well, yeah, I guess I'll try to shoot it then. I have quick draw. I actually put points into that. I need
Okay.
more quick draw.
So roll your quick draw.
Not that I'm very good at it, but I do have
Difficulty
points.
of 5 just to get the guns in your hand.
5.
Did you succeed?
I succeed. I rolled a 5. So my
Okay.
gun,
Oh,
I've skinned the smoke wagon. Now
My
what's gonna
apologies.
happen?
Did you blow any chips on your terror roll?
I never had to because I went 6, 6, 6, and 1.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So you have gun in hand. Will travel.
shoot it.
So you were firing
Who is
a
it?
what?
The worst fighter, the one facing the combat, and I was in back. Tell me the justice in that. All right, well, I will try to shoot it.
Okay, where are you shooting?
I will shoot my cold lightning.
Okay, so that does have a rate of fire of 2, so that's
Yes.
a good thing. Range is effectively null, so no big deal there. Yes, the creature was, we'll just call it running.
Well, yeah, I'd say that's a fair assessment.
So matter of fact, yeah, so it's there will be a -4 to your roll.
Done.
Low light is also a -4.
So you're at 13.
To hit with my two, I actually have D8, so that's good. So I can at least use like a blue. All right, so I roll.
It is large, so +1.
Okay, so
12.
So 12.
Wait, does that make it worse then? Wouldn't it
No.
be -1 if it's hard?
So I mean, the way to think about the negatives and plus, it really should be kind of written the opposite way around. But so you know, if the toughness level was a 5, but you get the -4, which makes it that much harder. So it's really kind of a plus to the toughness, or you can think of it as a minusness to what your dice result is. I think it's easier to think of it as just of an additive factor. So it's
Base
+4 extra onto the toughness for its speed. It's +4 onto the toughness due to the low light, but it's -1 due to its larger size.
Got it. So I need a 12,
So you need a 12.
unless I burn some dice. Okay. All right, I will burn. I'll burn the red chip. I gotta add a dice to it, right?
I'll get an added chip.
All right. Well, I got a 12 exactly with the you burning the chip. I'm gonna count for that right now.
Okay, so you got a 12.
So I did get a 12. So that's my
Hit.
first shot.
So roll a d20.
Okay. Sorry, I have scads of d20s.
Mark, can you jack up your volume a little bit higher?
Sure. All right, I rolled a 3.
You hit it in the leg.
Got it in the leg.
How about we talk about how impressed everybody is that I didn't soil myself? I actually managed to pull my gun, and I actually managed to shoot it. How about we talk about the positives here?
I don't think anybody saw that, so there's no way we
That's
can.
true. You
On
do
account
hear,
of the inky darkness.
you do hear a gun. You hear a squeal like somebody slapped somebody named Shirley, and
So-
then you hear the booming sound of gunfire.
So go ahead and roll the damage of your weapon.
All right, it's 3d6.
Is it armored?
No.
Eh? Yay.
7.
7. Okay.
Like, wah, 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 wah.
Wow.
Not so goody on the roll.
Okay. Fire your other bullet.
Oh, you mean if see if I need a 12? It's still a 12, right? Okay.
Still 12.
Yeah. All right, I'll burn another red chip. And 7 plus 12. I got the 12 again, exactly.
Wow.
Well, I burned through a lot of chips, man. I just burned through the 2 red chips take a long time to get. I just went through them like. All right, so 1d20. Right?
Yep, for the location.
18, 19, no, 19.
Oh, okay.
That's better than a 2, I think, right?
19 is upper guts, if that's what you're.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll dice, damage.
Yep.
See if I can roll better than a 7. Yeah, 13. Better than a 7. Woo, I think. I will save you all.
All right. And how much damage?
The first one was 7. The second one was 13.
13. Okie dokie. Other king.
King of diamonds, that's me. So I obviously the glowing blue thing is not in front of me anymore. I scan to see where it is. Do I have line of sight on it?
Well, it kind of, from your point of view, it kind of almost strobed past you. I mean,
Yeah.
you also noticing that the inky darkness is starting to fade. It's now just very dark as opposed to a
Inky
wall
black.
of darkness.
The word you're looking for is decoagulate.
You are not feeling very confident that you could shoot by 4 other people.
You got
And
night
you-
sights on that thing, right?
This is my Colt, not my snipper.
Would
Yeah,
it
this
help?
is-
Would it help his shot if any of us were screaming like little girls and peeing ourselves?
No,
Just checking.
unfortunately not.
Asking for a
just-
friend.
That's just atmospheric.
I would even say right this moment, Christopher, you don't even have line of sight.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
what that's looking at. That's what I kind of figured. Well, I'll swear under my breath. God,
But you can move.
yeah, that's. I'll slowly move. Basically, going back down the hall till I think I can get a decent shot at him. Feeling my way along the back wall.
Okay,
So,
what's your
so
pace?
just to be clear, you're going to the light.
Yeah, my pace is 6.
6. Okay, so yeah, you can kind of, you can get some movement certainly here. I'd say, are you? I say you're just in the darkness. It's not like it's a
Yeah.
wall of black, right? So you can move at the very least your full pace.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Okay. So let's see here. So that puts you about here. There we go. Yeah, knock you over a little bit. And I don't think you got line of sight still quite yet.
So I'll put myself at Overwatch.
No, you're close, but no.
Yeah, there's a wall in the way.
If you had a couple more, if you had a bit more of a pace, probably, but
So Aaron has a freaking laser beam.
it's great for line of sight, man.
I figure every creature deserves a warm meal.
Okay, so that was the other king, yes?
Hmm.
Okay, queens. Jacks.
I have a jack. I have a jack of spades,
I have a jack of
which
shit.
is the best kind of jack. Let's be honest.
Okay.
So I'm going to crouch down and I'm going to get my smelling salts out. I think I was getting them out. And I'm going to try to rouse my friend who seems to have grown faint.
All right, Dr. Trout, I would suggest you do have line of sight.
To the creature.
Yeah.
I need to get this guy back in the fight.
Okay, well, don't forget what you have loaded.
I don't have it loaded. It's the sixth round in the chamber. So I'll need to spend an effort to adjust the cylinders anyway. So I'm going to try to wake up Vance because I was moving up to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Rouse
that
him
makes some
because he's
sense.
unconscious.
Okay.
Or I think he's unconscious.
Do a medical roll, difficulty of 5. That's reasonable.
I would imagine I will not have any difficulty with this. I say completely.
Yeah, I mean,
genuine myself.
you've performed this, thing, hundreds of times.
Yeah, but he just pre-jinxed himself.
Usually it's Southern Belles who have the vapors, but what are you gonna do? 12.
12 is good.
I don't even have to slap him.
No.
Yeah, but why not?
Wake up, man! There's a creature behind us.
Let's see here. Vance. Yeah, Vance, you wake up.
What? Why am I on the what? Why am I on the ground?
Oh,
In the
here we
tunnel,
go.
the creature is behind us.
Why are
Which
my
way's
pants?
behind?
And why are my pants?
That way. The
Which
way.
way did he go? Which way did he go?
Here, let me get behind you, and that way you'll know.
So that was all the jacks. So 10. Oh, Vance, where were you on the draw order?
On the draw order. I
point
didn't
of
draw
order
because
says
I
he
was unconscious.
He hasn't
Draw-
made
draw
a
your
quickness
cards.
roll.
Woo!
Yeah, we might have to retroact some of this because technically, even though you were asleep, you had a chance of waking up.
What was the difficulty?
It's always 5.
Yeah,
5.
so
5.
you always get one card, and you get one card for
20.
succeeding and one card for every raise.
To a maximum of 5 cards.
Right.
Maximum 5. Okay, so I
And
only
this
have
is
5.
why just a percentile-based percentiles-based roll is a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, I have 2. I have an ace and a king.
Ouch.
Damn.
Okay.
I can put those back and draw something else, just to make it easier.
No,
Or they're lost cards.
no, let's do this. Hold on here. This won't be too much of a retro. So for your ace, roll a spirit check, at a toughness level of
1 million.
no, of 9.
Other option, you can you could just say they just went into a sleeve.
No, the ace is lost.
Okay. So the king, do a spirit check, toughness level 7.
Haha. 9.
Okay. So on the king, you wake up.
Okay.
So
I see what you're doing.
yeah. So Dr. Gabriel, you were about to administer some smelling salts to Vance, and you notice that Vance is waking up as it is. So now you have an action.
All right. I'm gonna
Your jack.
rotate the cylinder till I get on the magic bullet. So that
Fair
on the
enough.
next card I'll be able to shoot.
Okay. So unless Vance, you also had a jack, we'll move on to 10.
Move on to 10.
All right. 9.
9.
I have a
9.
9. I have a 9 as well.
9 of spades.
9 of diamonds.
9 of clubs.
Spades first.
Not a 9.
Aha. Do I have line of sight where I am?
You were orange, correct?
Yes.
Doesn't look like it.
No, you do not. No,
Okay.
no. You'd have to be at least where the doctor is, if not closer for line of sight.
All right. In that case, I will move to that position.
Pace is 6, we'll put you about here. So,
My
okay,
pace is 8, but
you can get closer if you want.
no, I'm going to make sure that Walt stays in front of me.
Thanks, bro. And but love.
Actually, considering my fault, I would move to the front.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's valid.
So YDM, you the man.
Right up.
I have great respect for you and your courage.
Which reminds me,
I'm right behind you.
The good sheriff, see if he wakes up all by his lonesome. I need a blow up. Nope. And then I need high, which I don't get because I rolled a 1, a 3, and a 5. Never mind. Okay, so that was your 9, is that correct? 10, whatever we were on?
That was my 9. Yeah.
Your
I
9.
have a 9 of clubs, but I already shot, so I don't know what I can do.
Shoot
Well,
again.
9 of spades would be next.
Nine of diamonds.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So hearts then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you shot, bang, bang. Well, your gun has more than 2 bullets in it.
Yeah, so I can try to shoot again.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that. I already made so many freaking good rolls. Do I still need 12s?
Actually, diamonds goes before clubs. Or
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
Who-
Okay.
so who's got
Yeah,
the-
that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah,
So who's got the diamond?
I do.
All right, go for it.
So I will continue moving. I will continue moving up until I'm in have line of sight.
Okay. Which pace?
6.
And you are purple, right? No.
No, red.
You're red. All right.
What's your favorite color? Blue. No, green. Ah.
Well, I put you about where the doctor is again, sort of the same area. I can't quite, just because of figurines, but yeah, you're there, so you would have just barely line of sight. You would be walking.
Just
so-
barely is good enough.
So, are you going to shoot considering the negative factors?
I am going to take aim.
Oh, good call. Okay, that is a very valid call.
How's that? work?
Okay, Walt, you're up.
I'm just gonna blaze away. Oh, good God, no. I won't even waste a die roll on that shot. I won't even waste a chip. A 2, 2, and a 1.
Ooh, yeah, that's
That was pretty pungent.
that's rough. Yeah.
So does that mean I got my second shot?
Yep.
Yeah, still good.
Well, that was a really bad roll. But I did get an 8, and an 8, and a 2. So 20. That's just a regular hit. Didn't even get him. I didn't get a raise, unfortunately, but I did actually do a much better shot.
Did a better shot.
1. I'm guessing that's the foot.
The leg again.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I can't always roll good. Okay. Oh, wow, shit. But I did do 13. So.
Okay. Observationally speaking, he doesn't look particularly hurt. Just saying.
I figured it's gonna take a moon shooter through the face.
He looks
to get his
irritated.
attention.
He looks hungry.
8.
8 of spades.
Same here. Let's roll it off. Do a D6 roll. I got a 3.
I got a 5.
You're up first.
Well, I'm going to shoot him twice in the face with magic bullets.
Yeah.
Magic
Please.
bullets.
Please don't suck on your rolls now. Please, I'm counter jinxing it.
That's what the blue chips are for.
So
Well,
yeah,
that's also what the aiming is for, because I can now take this from a 12 to a 10.
That helps.
yeah, that gives you a +2.
All right, shot number 1.
Yeah, here we go.
On suitcase full of diamonds.
If you were gonna cheat,
There's
now
an explosion.
you're considering it.
Yeah. Yeah, see, my friends are here now, too.
So 18. So that is not
Just-
quite a raise,
Right. So
but it is a hit.
it is a hit.
A palpable hit.
Okay, so I want you to roll hit location.
That is in the gizzard.
Gizzard, interesting.
No, straight 10.
Okay. 2 things. I want you to roll a 50% hole. You want to go say roll percentage, you want to get 50% or higher.
99.
Wow. Okay.
Your gun
Now I need
jams.
you to roll a dumb luck roll. Difficulty of well, we're still in darkness, so we'll call it 7.
7.
Okay.
Get
cool.
him.
All right, hold on. Roll the damage of your weapon.
All right, that's gizzard as well, plus 1 die.
Yes.
Yes. Or do you want me to roll location first? Oh yeah, we already did that.
You did.
Duh.
That's
You didn't
gizzard
give it.
10.
All right, so I had 2 explosions there. So 12, 17, 23 plus 28, 34, 39.
Suck it.
Sorry, sorry, Marshall.
What, did you just shoot the marshal or something?
No, no, I have to
Oh,
do
sorry. I was thinking the
I have
sheriff.
to like
Never mind.
do long division now and shit.
Okay, now it looks slightly irritated.
And that's the first shot.
Okay, so who's up front?
I was closest
Oh
to it,
no, that'd be
unfortunately.
Vance. Vance, you
Yeah.
made it all the way up front.
Oh,
So
that's right.
even though we're in the middle of combat, Vance, I would like you to roll a cognition roll, difficulty of 5.
Is cognition a 12 or a 10 for me?
You tell us.
10. Okay.
10.
Deafness is 12s. We'll just say yes, because I got a 5 and then I got an explosion.
Right out. Okay, so you see, you hear a pretty loud kabang from behind you, right?
After my manly shots, too.
After the good Walter Laraby's manly shot, and you notice that it's got a bag of something or other on a sort of a hemp-looking sort of ropey, almost necklace,
The
right? Because
Krampus?
it's now standing somewhat in the light. And you see that bullet pierce into the bag. Okay.
So you're a sack shooter.
Right.
You got him right in the sack. No. So that has a ramification. 1 second. I just got to look up what it is.
Thermonuclear explosion.
You're all now on fire.
Christopher, roll me a D8. If you roll an 8, re-roll that 8. Don't add it together, just re-roll the 8.
All right, well, I rolled an 8.
Okay, so basically ignore it and re-roll.
3.
Okay. Right. So Vance, as that bullet went through the bag, you notice that the character of the skin, or the almost the carpus lookingness of the critter, has turned into a much more fleshy, soft looking something or other. Carl, do your second shot.
Kill it. Kill it. Headshot. 5d10. Come on.
I hit. Well, it should 12. 20. 1 hit, 1 raise.
1 hit, 1 raise.
Roll a 19 or a 20 would be fine.
You want me to roll a 9 or a 19, a 9, 11, or a 19?
All right. Well, roll a 9, 11, or 19.
I rolled a 9, upping at 1 to hit it in the gizzard again.
Hit the gizzard. Okay.
This is magic bullet number 2.
Right. Okay, we're gonna need to go through these numbers again. Roll the percentage, please.
77.
77, so that's above 50. Roll your luck, or your dumb luck, sorry.
7.
Okay, roll a D8, ignoring 8s and 3s.
A 7.
7. Wow, really? Okay.
Turns into Elvis.
Vance, you notice that the creature's long, sharp blade-like hands, the blades shatter, and leave only what appeared to be hands, just kind of human-looking, non-sharp, non-super sharp hands.
Oh,
Roll your
You want-
damage,
45.
Jesus.
and the creature collapses.
You are a bad man, mostly because of me, but
And-
you helped. You helped.
Virtually dissipates. It just, but you see that bag fall to the ground.
That has a
I'll
hole in
walk
it.
over and pick up the bag since I'm on 7s.
That's
This
not my.
is really going to make my character even more superstitious.
Don't
This is
touch
not-
it. It's evil.
That's not my bag, man.
It's like from the end of the Time Bandits. Don't touch it. It's evil.
It's concentrated.
And then of course
evil.
everybody's like
Huh?
reach over, touch at the same time. Return what you have
Wow.
stolen.
Incredible damage, Carl. Jesus.
46 and a lot of explosions.
Wow.
Yeah, that's after all the damage I did.
Those
Wow.
loaded dice from eBay really paid off.
Okay, I'm going to leave the shared screen up here because there's still stuff to be done. Yeah,
what he
so
was
on
building.
7s,
I have a 7 of spades.
I have a 7 of clubs and a 7 of diamonds.
So I will move over. So I will move over to the sheriff and try to rouse him.
okay. You
Come
move
on,
over
you can
there
do it.
and roll your medical again.
Okay.
It's a failure bad. Applying smelling salts, you do a failure, critical failure.
9.
You got 9?
Yep.
All right, good enough. That's real, not very good. Really need a better character guy for him, but that's okay. So you see, not Vance also running into the mine as fast as he can run, and he has a lit flare in his hand.
Say it's not a
Lit
stick of
flare.
dynamite,
Yes.
like dynamite.
The inky smoke is, it's not so much it's not like dissipating like smoke does. It's just rapidly becoming less and less inky. So it looks pretty normal at this point. Those of you who still had lanterns and such, you're
Or
getting pretty
torch.
much normal illumination now from the lanterns. We'll say 7 is the last of the action rounds, and we can drop the cards. So Vance, you go to where the thing pretty much was. You see a bag. You see, to be honest, not much else. You just
Oh.
pretty much see the bag.
All right. Pick the bag up by the hemp.
Oh,
around.
you also on the ground is
A gun. A gun.
a
gun.
portion of a rib of a rib bone of some sort.
Ooh. Pick those both up. Rib bone in one pocket, pouch in the other pocket. We can look at this when we're outdoors
Sure. Okay.
in the light.
Let's see. Okay. Purple. Who's purple?
I am purple.
You were purple. Okay. So the inky darkness clears, and Gustav, you see still kind of further down the mine where the horrible thing was. You see a body of what you at least assume to be a human.
Okay. I'll call it out to the other guys and I'll go check it out. I still
Okay.
have my lantern.
I got a body down here.
So you start going this way.
Hey, Larrabee, when you write this up, you need to make it a more of an epic struggle instead of a 3 shots to the forehead and he's dead.
Hey, what about my 3 shots to the leg, and the upper gizzard? Thank you very much.
Those are warning shots, right?
No, I actually hit him 3 times. Don't diss my skills with 2 L's.
Okay, at this point, people are kind of free to do actions. I'm going to keep the map up here for a little while, though. So everybody else hears Gustav say, "Hey, there's a body down here."
I'll start heading towards Gustav.
Yeah, me too. I have a torch, a handmade torch. It's quite
Once
nice.
I'm sure that, so the sheriff is up and about.
Yeah, yeah,
Alright.
he seems more sort of flustered than anything else.
I will make sure that not Vance is not running in here because he's scared of something that's chasing him, but he's just coming to back us up.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Walt, you never did use your blessing reroll. That's why you had that white ring.
Oh, I forgot about that. Because we got blessed before we went out here. That was like a month and a half ago.
True. That's why I kept the white ring.
Apparently, I used it by proxy.
Yeah, no doubt. Jiminy Cricks. All right. So everybody else kind of comes up here, hanging out. Oh wait, no. Walt, where are you going?
I was heading over to check out the body, as that sounds like something interesting to do.
All right.
Hey,
I'm not like
Gustav,
I'm not like sprinting. I'm moving, with my torch in front of
sauntering?
me.
Are you ambling? Are you moseying?
I'm not sashaying. I'm
And Dr. Trot, were you also moving towards the body? or
Yeah,
were you just-
once I'm sure the sheriff is okay. I mean, the body's not as high a priority as making sure everyone's okay. So then I'll work my way
Okay.
back over to the body.
And Vance, were you sort of sticking by where the creature disappeared, or were you heading down as well?
I would head down as well.
Okay. All right.
hey, Gustav,
There.
remember when we were here earlier? We heard the metallic banging.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye out for anything that might have made that.
Truth. I was looking for maybe a totem or something that the creature might have been using to prey in something.
You say you see a body?
Yeah, I can't rightly see who it is.
I wonder if it's the people we've run across.
Okay, well, at this point, your characters come up to the body. I won't move the figurines necessarily for this part. And it does indeed so far, and I guess the good doctor could sort of super confirm it, but it appears to be a human.
Dressed in ordinary clothes?
Yeah, you see a very sharp butcher knife near one hand.
Are they visibly dead, or we don't know at this point?
The figure has several bullet wounds in it.
Okay.
I'll say in him, it is a male.
Are the wounds oozing blood now, or is he long been
Are
dead?
the wounds approximate where the other creature got shot?
Yeah.
No, only because there are 3 bullets. You know that the critter got hit, what, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Got it.
5, at least 5 times.
I wasn't sure if this was a creature of Dorian Gray situation here.
Not far off from what I was thinking, that the creature was some kind of projection of some kind of necromancer.
So you see that as you also get close to the body, you do see, oh heavens, I gotta share something else, so hold on here. Come on, mouse. Where's the mouse? There's the mouse. All right, I gotta find it first. All right, on that chunk of wood, that looks like it's barricading something going further, right? You see that.
Oh,
How
Walt,
close
can
to
you
the
tell us
property?
that
Yeah,
is
how
similar
close?
to the,
Go ahead. Sorry.
oh, sorry. Hey Walt, can you tell us how similar it was to that symbol you seen on the floor of the bar when we walked in?
Hey, Walt, why don't you draw it?
Shut up.
Walt, you get up there. Let's see here.
I had a picture of it at one point. Oh, I
I
have
just
it.
want to
Never
see him
mind.
switch again.
Now I'm looking at the picture. No, it was it was a 12-sided picture, and
Yeah.
it looked like it had more kind of Arabic or almost Japanese kanji around it. So,
Walt, can you roll
not
me a percentage roll, please, and tell me what the result is?
me a percentage roll. Sure, I
Let's see
can
if he
do
gets
that.
hypnotized again.
Shut up. Nobody asked your opinion, Doctor. He's belittling me. 21?
21.
21.
Okay.
Thought so.
That doesn't ring too much of a bell. How about yeah, Vance, roll me an occult roll. Toughness level 11.
Well,
Nope. Okay, fair enough. So there's that thing, whatever it is. Hanging
a
out.
7-pointed star.
And the periodic table of elements in another language.
It's a Sumerian recipe for birthday cake.
For keto French onion soup.
For gluten-free pizza.
Huh.
It's the version 1.0 combat rules for.
Does this look like it's been there for a while, or this might have been something that someone was working on recently?
You think it's something that somebody is working on recently, perhaps etching and doing some metal tapping to create it.
Is this carved in the stone?
It is literally on a relatively maybe a 1/4 inch thick plate of copper.
Now that might make sense of when we were here last night. It may have been what it was working on.
Is this plate of a size where we could take it with us?
Yeah, it's about about that big, and it is attached to the wood with 4 relatively crude drop forged nails. Just the square kind of old-fashioned style nails.
Well, let's
It's just
see.
it's just on a piece of wood. It's not like on a door or anything.
It's on the barrier that is blocking going further
Okay.
into that tunnel.
Oh,
Look at it. So the text from the, from your dream, Gustav, did it have something to do like protecting from the earth that will, it seems like it's some sort of protective item. I wouldn't want to mess with it.
Well, as much as I want to use it to possibly decorate my man cave, let me think real hard about my dream here. Protect or shield this world from the following world. Fathers of the earth shall rise. Let's see. Could we have totally misunderstood the intentions of the creature we just killed?
Oh,
he could have
also,
been-
one last factor.
Sure.
Entwined kind of along the edges and around this metal plate that's attached to the wood barrier, right, is a shock of, or a sample, a shock of blonde hair about a foot long.
And that encompasses the plate.
Yes.
The question is it possible we misunderstood the intentions of the creature that we just, that Carl so soundly defeated?
Hey, I shot it 3 times. Damn it.
You helped. You helped.
Thank you.
And was it actually sealing something in here? And were we to remove this, we would do more harm than good.
Well,
Don't know. Don't care.
Don't know the actions of that creature would seem to be counterintuitive to protection unless what it thought was a greater good.
Well, me
I mean,
being
A
a,
bit of evil.
what's our level of confidence that that creature was the thing that murdered those people in the 2 towns?
I'm highly confident.
Was it the blades that make you confident? Obviously, the guns, you're very confident. But I mean,
Uh, I mean, there is evidence of blood on that knife that was by the corpse that's right beside you all.
yeah.
so
Aaron, do you see the chat?
I saw some chat. Hold on.
So I mean, my thoughts are this was the person that was murdering people, and if it was murdering people in some misguided
Okay, hold on here.
with some misguided intent to protect us from something, I mean, look, we could be, we've been protected from dark creatures, I guess, for millennia without people having to be murdered to maintain it.
Well, Vance, you said that the gentleman who gave us the magic bullets, they originally sealed this mine because of something, correct?
Right, but that was the seal on the outside.
Um,
And in saying that, I draw my gun and point it at the corpse.
right. Blam blam, and the head of the corpse is now a bloody pile of grits.
So
Just to be sure.
Is he wearing clothes?
He is wearing clothes now, even more blood splattered. But yeah,
So I'm going to go check his clothes to see if there's any papers that would identify who he is.
I was
Okay,
just going to kick the knife out of his hand, but sure, blow his head off. That's fine.
Just because we probably would be helpful for us to understand who this was before his face disappeared and we can no longer identify him from that.
Sounds a little judgmental.
Vance and Christoph both do a knowledge roll. Toughness level 5.
Just a straight knowledge roll.
Yep.
Yes.
Success, 1 raise.
Okay. If I have this wrong, I apologize because I didn't re-review it. I know that one or both of you all, or maybe it was somebody else who was near the mine before you all went into the mine, had a conversation of sorts with what you assume to be the evil, terrible thing.
Wasn't that me?
That was me.
No, with the multiple.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was Christopher.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that was just Christopher.
Oh, let me see my.
I'll give you more if you want more, but if you see if you put any notes concerning that conversation.
So before all this started, I had I guess you may have been wondering what I was yammering on about. From what I recall, hearing the voice from the mine, it talked about something about protecting the earth and that intruders can't be tolerated and that we should go away. And all of this had been regrettable but necessary, and something about a native soul, and that if it had not been followed, the bloodshed would not have been needed.
I got it. So it's all our faults. So all those people
So-
dying was really our fault.
With the
blame the
raise that you
victim.
had, you also recall it said it could even provide a patsy.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
It's like a riddle wrapped in an enigma. No JFK reference.
You ever have the
That's it.
feeling that you may have just done something you might regret in the long run?
Yeah, every time I order takeout food from 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
So
And
you
everyone
think
around me will regret it.
that what you threw rounds into wasn't an enemy?
It had the
I'm
knife
not
and
going to
killed a
go
ton of
that
people.
far because the atrocities it committed and worked are not reasonable. But
That thing had
I'm wondering if it's in its misguided vision was trying to, in its way, help. I don't know. This is all strange and, let's just say it, unusual and something that I haven't seen. Well, the last time I saw something like this, it was the dead rising out, rising from the field of Gettysburg, and that made me want to get as far away from that as possible.
Is
Dr.
it
Trout,
possible?
while this conversation is going on, if you could first roll me a search roll, toughness level 5, and then roll me a knowledge roll, toughness level 7.
Who's making these rolls?
Dr. Trout,
There's a search roll first, then a knowledge roll.
yes, please.
Roger, Dodger.
So you think this could have been the patsy that he put down? Sharp knife, even though
What am I looking for?
Mr. Blades for Hands was
Search
probably
of
the killer.
5.
So
5 on
7
the
on the
search.
search.
Possible.
What'd you get on the search? I'm sorry, Dr.
7
Trout.
on the search.
Okay,
And I'm gonna spend a white chip to re-roll the knowledge.
all right.
What they're there for. I roll one more die.
Presumably.
Oh, that's a good one. 15.
15, okay.
That's
Okay,
'cause he
so
used
the
the
search, you're
dice.
kind of poking through and, as I say, you were looking for some sort of forms of identification or something along those lines. Mind you, back then,
It could be could be engraved pocket watch or something, or, you know.
yeah, the only thing you particularly find is you do find on the inside jacket pocket a folded over photograph of what you kind of think maybe was him. Hard to know now because there's no face, but
Okay.
it'd be
Thanks, guys.
more or less the right height and such. And two older people kind of to his left and to his right. From just sort of the general setting and such, you would guess Irish. And it says on the back, Ma and Pa and McClary. Ma and Paul McClary.
Didn't we hear that name from Swearinger?
You don't recall the McClary name specifically.
No.
While you're doing that search, it kind of strikes you like sort of one of those strange sort of flashback memories that hair that's on that symbol that's tacked to the barricade has the same color hair and the same length of hair of the horror from the Gem Saloon.
That was a desert flower, by the way. Wasn't that the
All right.
preferred term?
So, any ideas where the rest of the body parts went?
No, I'm afraid that they might be on the other side of that.
Or
wood
maybe
there.
somewhere else inside the mine. It's not like we've explored it carefully.
Well, is there some sort of homunculus golem that's just all the stitched together pieces of the people? And we are many, we are legion.
At this point, you also see the sheriff and not Vance kind of walking down the hall. Rather bright light from evidently Evidently, not Vance must have found a box of flares or something or other. And kind of, y'all still need bright light?
And there goes my night sight.
Certainly can't hurt.
Okay,
It's
well,
okay, we'll
each
be
one
seeing
lasts
that bright
about
light.
10 minutes or so before it goes out. So
My recommendation is, at the very least, we get this body out of here so we can actually look closer at it in the light of day instead of the dimness of this mine.
All right, fireman's carry.
okay, don't forget
I'll
you
get
also
the
have a
head.
sack, Vance, to look at.
What? So what?
The sack.
Yeah, I said
Right,
we do
when we get
any
outside, yeah.
investigation outside.
Okay, did anybody touch or disturb or whatever the metal placket and such that's up on the barrier?
There's enough weird stuff going on here. I ain't touching shit.
Fair enough.
That might be something to have the gentleman that loaned us these rounds come out and take a look at.
Yeah,
I
might need
think
an
we
expert
definitely have a
appraisal.
story for him.
Somebody with knowledge of this
Experience?
type. Yes, experience or knowledge of this type stuff.
Bit of an
Alright.
antique roadshow of mine.
Oh,
Well,
he's
what you have
What is
here?
an ancient summoning plate of ball?
Veneer.
So you hoist up the body and bring it out to the
We won't forget the knife either.
Yeah, somebody grab the knife.
proverbial light of day. Did you also gather up the rib bone of some sort?
Yes, Vance said he took it.
Yes, the rib bone is in one pocket. The pouch is in the other.
Okay, and so you get out. It's still relatively early in the daytime. Maybe noon, maybe a little earlier than noon. So fairly bright. No horses, or well, no evil Trumpy horse.
What about, I'll take a look. After everything that we've done, what's going on with the pit?
Let's see here. In the pit. Let's see.
Fire's out.
Well, it's still smoking. But that shouldn't be a particular surprise. Again, it's only been about 10 minutes or so. Let's see. Looking down the pit, there doesn't seem to be any further immediate activity. Sort of same observations as before. You can definitely tell that there are human remains in the pit, and something somewhat strange about, for lack of a better term, the construction of the pit.
Yeah, so Vance, what was the name of the gentleman you talked to in town who gave you these shells?
Oh boy. Let me look through copious notes. Make sure I have it. That was from the other game. That's from the other game.
I can give it to you if you want it, but
Yeah, it might be better so I'm not looking through here for hours.
Mr. Elks, Tully Elks.
Elks. Elks?
Elks.
It's not on this notepad. Oh, here we go. Yes, Elks.
My thinking is that it is still early, as it is still early in the day. I don't think right now, with all that has occurred and with what we've found, we necessarily want to leave this site alone. Mr. Elks would seem to have the best past history with this location. Do you think it would be worth to see if we can send, or maybe the sheriff, maybe Lloyd back to fetch him here so we can talk about what we have found and what has occurred?
Either that or perhaps I should ride back.
That actually might be the better idea since he knows you a little bit better. Meanwhile, the good doctor here can look at what remains of the gentleman whose head you so unceremoniously blew off as an afterthought.
Completely unnecessary. But
And
delightful.
I want to look at,
Until they get up.
yeah,
And then you
true,
wish to-
true, that has been what I have seen, and I can't fault you for that. And I think there are some words that still run in my mind about this pit, and the creature that we saw said, look for the evidence in here. So I think while you run back to town to get Mr. Elks, I may look at the pit a little bit closer to see what I can glean. And I invite anyone else here to help me in this endeavor. And why have I picked up a weird Southern accent?
You start inserting "sir" for no reason in half your sentences.
Yeah.
I will ride my horse back to town hard.
All right. Again,
How's the horse
it's not a
feel about it?
terribly long horse ride though. But go ahead and give me a ride. Toughness level of it's daytime, so just a 3. So you're just looking to not totally screw up.
Oh, I got 3 dice to throw, so I'm good.
Oh, famous last word.
So
This
don't
is
let
where you
nothing
all roll
happen.
ones, you fall off your horse, break your neck, and die.
Right.
Well, I didn't roll all ones. Got a boom, 9.
Okay. All right. So no problem. And you get down to town. And I guess you start poking around for Mr. Elks. You do recall that he was also the proprietor of the general store. So
Oh, good.
should be pretty easy to find. While you're doing that, the rest of y'all are up at the mine still. And at least Christopher has started to investigate the pit proper. What's everybody else doing?
I'd also suggest while I look at the pit, see if there's any evidence of the creatures that we slew before we went into the mine, and compare those to what we found in town that came out of that poor lady. Doc, you might be best for that.
I say we whip open that sack.
I want Mr. Elks here before we do that.
Okay.
Well, I was
I'm
trying-
assuming that Vance still has it on him, so we don't have it.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't hand it off to anybody before I left.
Very protective.
So he's probably riding into town holding a sack. I think checking out the pit is a good idea. It's probably presumably not, or maybe
Yeah.
it's smoking, but it shouldn't be hot anymore. It's been a
And
while.
it'll start off by not getting into the pit, but looking at the edge where it does look a little unnaturally smooth.
All right. Vance, roll me a percentage roll, please. As we're slightly doing a little, starting to cross over to Call of Cthulhu rules.
I actually rolled a 99.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, in normal rolls, that is bad in
Yes.
Call of Cthulhu land.
If I was
Yes.
firing a handgun, yes. If it's a revolver, it's still good. Remember, it's the double aught that's the worst.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's like bad no matter what you do. there's no spin on that one. That's just bad.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the only way to go. Vance, roll me a cognition roll, difficulty of 9.
Stars are right.
Kaboom. Kaboom. 25. So
Okay. As you're entering town, the horse simulacrum, the
Homunculus?
the black
The freaky horse.
the horse that the black figure was riding,
yeah,
Horse homunculus.
seems to be trailing you at least, or going in the same direction you are.
Oh, that damn
Don't
horse.
mind me. I'm just a hell horse. I'm just minding my own business, following you.
I'll keep an eye towards it.
Okay.
Because that horse tried to trample me.
Tried. I think it succeeded.
Is that the horse I shot?
Yes.
It's the
Yeah.
horse. Yeah, yes, it is.
It's probably. I hope it might be looking at me funny. Like,
It's looking
you
at you.
shot me. You shot me right in the hoof.
So for the remaining people up in the up on the mine. So does anybody have anything to deal with mining?
That would be a hell and a no.
Rollins not gonna do it.
I have a tinkering of 1. That's about it.
Miners, they are not.
Prospecting,
Yeah, no.
no.
I have
nothing like
tail
that.
telling.
All right, let me spin you a yarn.
And
Okay,
probably the
let's go
closest
with-
thing would be streetwise, and that ain't anywhere near mining.
Yeah.
I pantomime, but that's not what you mean.
So yeah, let's go with tinkering / everybody else would be a smarts on investigating the pit. Tinkering, we'll let it at a difficulty of 5. The rest of you all can be stuck with a 7.
Apparently, I used all my good rolls, drilling the bad guy 3 times.
Success. 12.
A success.
I'm gonna burn a white chip.
Really, for that?
Yeah. It's a 1. Oh, and I've lost my dice. Where'd it go?
And you die because you lost.
I guess I died. Where's my dice?
I will
Well,
be
we're gonna get a
I
new
will be
dice.
your ruler.
The new dice says 6.
2.
Okay.
Move.
And 4. So 10. So that's
So 10. So you got a raise.
yes. I like that better than the 1.
Okay. So Mr. Larrabee, you don't notice anything at all about the bed. It's a hole.
Hey, yeah, I'm still reminiscing about how I shot that thing 3 times. Okay.
Everybody else-
Hey, what?
Here's your
Stop
kind of your collective observation so far. 1, you can tell where the tailings of the mine were dumped, right? The tailings are the stuff you pull out and you pick through and you throw away, right? But there does not appear from any point of view you can figure out. There's no tailings, there's no piles, there's no whatever of the pit. In other words, if it was dug out and whatever, they either went through great amount of effort to haul away whatever they were digging, and you don't notice any like heavy tracks that wheel carts might have made or anything along those lines. Nothing recent, certainly. So that's the first thing you kind of like, where did all the material go for this pit? So one thought you have is perhaps it's a sinkhole of some sort, right? That's not too.
Can we
far.
see the bottom or no?
There is loose material still at the bottom, and there are about a dozen corpses in one state or another of burn and decay at this point. As you kind of poke around, none of you all have said that you're going into the pit as of yet. Therefore, you can only gain so much by perhaps grabbing a stick and kind of poking around. So you don't really find.
That's where we needed the 10-foot pole.
That's right. The 10-foot pole finally came in handy, and 50 foot of rope. But that's what you first kind of glean. Say without entering, there's not much else you can tell.
I don't know about you all, but the chances of me climbing to the bottom of that pit are just about 0.
Well, what if you got rope around you?
I agree.
No,
I agree. You'll end up at the bottom of the pit. I just don't know it's going to be a controlled fall.
I don't feel like I'd be climbing back out. We still have some dynamite. We could just blow the whole damn pit.
You have a lot of dynamite, actually.
Hold on, folks. I head back to my horse and grab the rope that I have on my saddle.
Okay, how about me and the doctor? If we find one of the bodies that is close to the edge of the pit where we don't have to get in too deep, that looks like it might be one of the miners, and see if we can't figure out what manner killed the miners. Like, were they bullet wounds? Were they knife wounds? Were they teeth marks? Were they suffocated? We don't quite know how the miners died, do we?
Not as of yet, no.
And we poured lamp oil down there and torched the bodies.
Well,
Yeah.
probably not all of them.
I
And
wouldn't think
No,
all
obviously,
of them would burn.
but I mean, there's I mean, I don't want to go down there.
yeah, well,
I mean, not to find out what someone died of who's been long dead.
Well, what would you think about grabbing one on the edge?
I mean, if you guys want to get one out of there, I'll look at it and try to make an
Center
assessment.
of my back edges.
I'm not really interested in getting close to the edge of this thing any more than I have to, because
What?
I don't want to fall in, because I don't know if I'll ever get out.
I'm not doing this alone, so if you guys don't want to do it, then we
that's
don't have
why
to
I'm
do it.
getting the rope, folks.
Okay, let's wait for the rope then.
Yeah.
Get a rope.
Yeah.
You could tell the doctor is not
Mm.
in any way excited about the prospect of going down in that hole.
Yeah.
In fact, as he's standing at the edge of it, he's looking over, like, you know how like when you're standing next to a big cliff, like like looking down, like you're just kind of staying as far away as you can and just kind of leaning over. That's what I'm doing.
And doing the extra stretch thing. Okay, look quickly side to side, make sure nobody's kind of coming up. Yeah.
That's right. Nobody get behind me. I start backing up real fast.
Yes, I actually have that phobia where I have a bit of a fear of heights, but only when other people are near me. Otherwise,
That's not a fear of heights. That's a fear of people. That's a mistrust of people.
People getting pushed.
and others.
That's the subway platform syndrome.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, as I say, if I'm alone or if people are around me, but sort of within sight and far enough away, I can go up to the edge of a multi-story drop, and I'm no problem as long as it's not like super duper windy or whatever. But no problem. But once somebody gets near me, man, my stomach starts going. Woo!
Yeah, I have a very definite fear of heights. So however long it takes me to go, get the rope and come back.
Okay, well, I assume it's probably with the horses.
Yeah.
So 6. Okay, luckily the rope was not on Vance's horse.
Oh, I have my own rope.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And you come back with a fairly long length of rope.
In
50
fact,
or
I can
100
tell you it is 50 feet of rope.
50 feet of rope. The classic.
Yeah.
That's all they actually sold it in for years and years.
Actually, yeah, it's what it's listed in the price.
Um,
All right, gentlemen. I'm going to do something I hope I don't regret.
there are some pretty good tie-offs for the rope. Large rock outcropping kind of thing. You could tie it off to probably one of the immediate supports going right into the mine shaft, and still have a good 30 feet of dangle of rope.
About how far does it look like to the bottom of the pit?
Oh, let's see. I mean, the bottom is not particularly defined yet, right? Because there's
Yeah,
basically a
well,
bunch of corpses there.
Yeah.
You judge probably 15, maybe, yeah, about 15 foot worth of drop before you hit the corpse level, and questionable from there. You'd surmise from the angle of the rough angle of the pit, since it's not a straight down kind of pit, it's kind of at a funnel angle. There's probably another 10 feet or so beneath the top level of corpse.
Well, I think probably the best bet is the corpses were about evenly spaced out, right?
Yeah,
I'll look for the area where there's probably one that's the least burnt.
sure. That would be closer to the mine entrance side
Yeah.
because the spilling of the oil was done
Mhm.
kind of in the front. So,
I will do my off and I'll say, gentlemen, be prepared to pull me up and we'll see. And I will head into the pit of death.
all right.
Hold
So
your nose.
Bit of carnal flaming
I
death.
assume you more or less kind of pseudo rappel down, I would guess.
Make your repel roll.
Climbing, I would assume.
Yeah, yeah. Give me your climbing.
5.
I'll say 5 for now. Yeah.
Yeah, made it.
Okay. And
Can you make all my rolls for me?
I'm liking these new dice I bought. They didn't say they were loaded.
they were made in a small Portuguese country. Oh, no offense to anybody who's from Portugal.
Nobody's from Portugal.
So okay, so you kind of pseudo rappel down. I assume the other guys you're holding the rope, kind of letting it go, kind of feeding it down. Otherwise, even rappelling is kind of a pain in the ass. And you get down to the sort of unburnt section, and as you get pretty close to the bodies that are nearby you, go ahead and give me a search, toughness level 5.
That I have a much better on. One success, one raise.
One success, one rise. Okay. You first determined that you can see several of the larger fluted spikes that I know. I'm pretty sure Gustav, you had to pull 1 or 2 out of you from the combat. So at least the immediate ones kind of around you looks like that they were indeed attacked by one form or another of the
Like caterpillar
Spider
thing.
thingies.
yeah of the grub slash caterpillar slash kind of walking what you think is a fast mutation slash growth cycle of whatever the worms
Larva.
were.
Do any of them look like they were in in this area, the prior search party? That
Oh yes,
Other set-
absolutely. Yeah. I can go over the names. It's not
They had
well,
matching
I guess
jackets.
you would have known some of the names of the
Clem,
other posse. You don't
victim
immediately
number 1,
see
victim number 2.
the deputy, but you recognize Patrick Eccleston and let's see here. That's funny. Charles Duvall.
So, as morbid as this sound, I want to find a body that wasn't one of the people that would have looked. Someone I
Sure.
don't recognize that might have been here earlier. Probably more towards the Bernie end.
More towards the birdie end, and you kind of want to go down a layer,
Ugh.
right? So you're going to have to move some of the
Got your corpse kicking boots?
Yeah.
it's unpleasant work, but you kind of start digging down, and it's
Gonna
heavy
need a
work
shower
too.
after this.
Why don't you give me just give me a strength roll. Toughness level 5. It's not tough, but it's awkward if you've ever tried to move
A success.
Okay. Yeah. You have to wrangle around there for a while, but yeah, sure enough, you get down to sort of the next layer down, and
Water.
you get to 1 or 2 of the not quite so badly burnt, but older and more stinky. Matter of fact, quite foul. And at this point in the heat and such,
Bloaty.
starting to get all unpleasantly bloaty. So okay, what are you looking? Are you looking for things specifically?
So I just want to get one of those, tie the rope around whatever I can, and have the gentleman up top haul up the body.
Okay, doke. Everybody else
Okay.
roll strength roll difficulty of 5, and I'm just looking for a couple successes in total between the 3 of you. Heck, even the sheriff can kick in here.
Strength is not my strongest suit.
No, me neither.
It's not mine either.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Indeed.
And if I add the 2 together, I'd get a 5. But since that
Yeah,
doesn't
sure.
work that way,
Oh,
we wouldn't
Really?
win it.
7. That's with the explosion.
Oh, okay. I was ready to say, come on, some levels of success, guys.
No, I rolled
Well,
a 2
I'm
and
gonna
a-
have to rest tomorrow. Ooh, that was a lot of work.
2 and a 3. Take some Motrin.
Nice.
Ice it.
And with that, I'll request that the rope be thrown back down, and I'll climb back up with some help.
So is there a bottom to this pit, or is it just a?
Infinite pile of corpses, as far as we know.
Well, so far, but it does. It funnels. Gustav, how many successes did you have on that strength check?
1 success, 1 raise.
Okay, 2, and the sheriff got 2, so 4. So no problem. You haul out one of the bodies. As the body drags up, Christopher, you notice the body moves a lot of the sort of looser soil away from the wall of the pit. It is remarkably smooth.
Does it look metallic? Does it? I'll start paying a closer attention to it while they haul the body up.
That there, my friends, is the devil's sphincter. Black as coal.
the
Gold is nice.
it's
Nice
not
visual.
metallic, but it's standard soil that you'd expect to see, whatever, 5-10 feet down in sort of a mesa style, whatever. So you can see the broken rock and all, but it is, it looks like almost polished, granite kind of thing.
Somebody
It is
drilled it with the
smoother
laser.
than any new tombstone you've ever ran your hand across. You don't see any chisel marks. Certainly no, hammering marks. You have no idea how this was cut out of the stone. How was this pit cut? You haven't the faintest clue.
Maybe it was Satan. No, wait, that's
You might need to get closer to get more possible, whatever. But
Yeah,
you just,
like I said, while they haul the body up, I'll approach it and just put my hand on it, look at it real close. And
Okay, give
clear
me a
off,
good
if there's
luck roll.
soil, clear off around to get a better picture of it.
Okay, give me a dumb luck roll.
I love dumb luck.
You can see your reflection.
5 or
Yeah, just normal. Yeah.
5. It's just a straight up success.
Okay, you didn't scorch into something terrible and
I didn't put I put my boot through someone's spleen.
right. Reburst a liver and or whatever. But
Gingerly make my way over.
yeah, you make your way over there, and you even feel confident enough to kind of rub your gloved hand
Yeah. I'm not going to lick the stone.
across the
I could put your eyeball up against
Although
it.
apparently that is an actual thing that they do.
That wouldn't surprise me.
They will taste bone and stone, and apparently they can get something out of it. Not that far.
But rubbing your gloved hand outside of some natural cracks where obviously there was like a large stone and then a smaller stone next to it, and there was a gap of air where this hole was sliced into. The only thing that you kind of notice is since the sun is virtually overhead at this point, almost a slightly sort of almost circular abrasiveness, maybe something that, as I say, there's nothing in your experience that you can think of that would have cut this like this. This is, even sort of beyond some of the pulp stuff that you've perhaps read in some of the magazines concerning the new technologies that come out. But as you do this, all of a sudden you see a little vein of a different material, and you don't, off the top of your head, recognize what the vein is. It's not gold, it's not silver. Strikes you as perhaps quartz, but it is purple, which is not unheard of. Purple quartz exists. Quartz makes sense for a gold mine as well. Quartz is very, very associated with gold.
About some of them newfangled ghost rock.
Potentially that. I'll just ask this as a character thing. Do you think your character has come across ghost rock?
I don't think any of us have.
Is it so question for you, is it something that's toxic to touch? Would someone have it in a pendant or something, so you might have seen it? Or in some sort of device that it would be visible?
It is not, at least as far as well, this is right now just stuff going through Christopher's head. As far as you know of even the stories of ghost rock, it's shoveled like coal. Some steam engines even just use the ghost rock, so it's not particularly toxic.
Yeah, so the only potential exposure that I would have would have been in my army days, and I don't know if I would have gone into any group within the Union Army that would have been using it.
Zora,
What
have you done?
So
when do you think you might have? When did you muster out of the army?
About 6 months after Gettysburg.
Okay, so the ghost
That'd
rock
be the
had
end of
not
1863.
in any quantity shown up
Yeah,
yet.
so then no, I'm not going to have any exposure to.
So
ghost
Marshall,
rock.
I've seen ghost rock. The huckster that they killed my wife and my daughter and gimped my leg was using a ghost rock talisman that exploded.
Okay.
But I'm not there, so
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not at the right. Proverbially speaking.
I'll make a note of it. Does it look like a large vein? Is it thick, fingers width, fist width, size of Gustav width?
It's not anything to it's not anything to cause a new land rush right there. It might be worth it to mine, maybe. It depends on where that scene goes. It's not in any great quantity. The seam you see right now is about the thickness of a pen.
So I'm assuming by this time the rope is back down.
Yeah.
I will go over, gingerly making my tiptoe through the corpses, and climb back up with the help of my compatriots.
Okay, and you get back up. Vance, you have been in town now for a little bit.
Yeah, I make my climbing roll. I figured you'd want that.
Well, they're going to help pull up anyway. So, you make your way to the general store, and sure enough, you find Mr. Elks there, and a younger male. Doesn't particularly look like him, so probably just a helper of some sort, as well as a female a few years younger than Mr. Elks.
I'll address Mr. Elks. Mr. Elks.
Oh, how you doing? It's good to see you.
Just rode back in from the mine. I was wondering if you might have a chance to be able to get away and come see something.
How did you fare?
We fared quite well.
That, sir, is a relief.
Yes.
I
will kind
suppose it's getting to lunch time anyway. Healthy ride wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing for me. He looks over. Martha, can you watch the store for a little while? And I'm going to be heading out with this gentleman for some business. Be back relatively shortly. Nothing to worry about. I mean, kind of waves in. Lead the way, Mr. Angry.
as we ride back, I will regale the tale the best I can.
All right, yeah, you start riding, and 1 second. We have 4d8 at a toughness level of 9.
Mm. Keep putting my 8-siders away.
Stop that.
Kaboom. Hey, kaboom. And a 4, so 12.
12. Okay. All right. That should answer your question.
Okay.
And so you regale the story. Now, don't forget, from part of your point of view, you were unconscious.
Yes.
So there might be a slight hole or two in the story. And he seems to be pleased that his gift seemed to have helped, or at least he believes it did. He, by the way, asks if there are any remaining shells left.
I've got my one that I didn't use, so I'll give him back that one. Fortunately, didn't need to use it. It was
I don't
dead
think he's
before I got
there
to
yet.
shoot.
We're not
He's
there
not
yet,
there
so
yet.
this would be just advanced.
Never
I
mind.
will state that yes, I can give him some of the shells back. Not a problem.
Okay, great. No, he did not ask for all or anything like that.
Right. He wanted at least one back.
Yeah. And do you tell him about beyond just the battle of the creature? Did you go into the other body and the thing on the brass or on the copper plate?
Yeah, the main thing is that I wanted to discuss with him was the copper plate, because I did not think that was him, and I will, state that it was a 7-pointed star, which I found to be unusual.
All right, hold on. Get the right dice in hand. He pulls up Rain right when you kind of start describing the thing, and he's like, I might have to go back to town and grab a book or two.
All right.
I mean, we're halfway there. We can go up, but if it's what I think it might be, I'm going to have to go back and get the books. If it ain't what I think it is, then I suppose it won't matter much.
Better safe than sorry.
Fair enough. Turns back around. I say the total distance ride is like 1.5 miles. So you got, it's not that bad. All right. So 10 minutes back town, goes to his actual home, which is a small home, sort of behind the thoroughfare of Etna.
Now I know where he lives.
And seems to take a bit longer in the house than one would think if he was just grabbing a book off of a bookshelf.
Dropping a deuce.
Grabbed books, some other papers.
And then he comes on out and he's got a little side satchel bag sort of immerse, and hops back on the horse and says, "All right, let's do this again." And you start riding back.
All right.
Another 10 or 15 minutes, you'll be there. Okay, so Chris, you get back to the top of the pit with no particular need of anybody to haul you up, but you get back up to the top.
That sounds good.
Doc, I know the body is a little advanced, but I'd appreciate it if you could see what you can see. Did see something interesting when I was down there. The walls, well, the best way to describe them, and seemingly everything on here, is they ain't natural. Unnaturally smooth. Looks like granite, but almost polished. Couldn't see any marks in the stone that would indicate that this was blasted, this was chipped, this was hammered out. In fact, when looking at the stone and rubbing it with my gloved hand, saw a vein of purplish quartzish material. Never seen it before in my life.
Dr. Trout, why don't you do a give me a smarts roll, difficulty 7.
Right. I think I'd be able to remember what my stats were, especially that one. Oh, oof. That's not the good one. What difficulty?
7.
I guess I'll be using another white chip. I mean, I didn't get a bunch of 1s, but I didn't get any 7s either. I'm 48.
Yeah, you might have to actually go down and take a look at it, or maybe somebody go down and chip away a chunk of it and bring it up to you.
Yeah, because I'm not going down
The other thing I need is I need some water to wash some of this off of me.
Oh, you are
Reeking.
You have charnel up to your waist, basically. I mean, and all on the inner parts of your sleeves, your gloves, a bit on your chest. Wow, it's bad.
Yeah.
You are super covered with awful.
Fortunately, I have another set of clothes, but they are back at the house. House.
But it's something horrible. Doctor, you can do a general med on the body if you so decide to.
I shall.
Dig in.
Dead bodies don't bother me.
That's true.
The devil's sphincter does.
The DS.
For short.
Standard difficulty
15.
5.
Yeah.
You're daytime, decent light.
2 raises.
2 raises. Excellent.
Quick question. There in this mine, there isn't any water supplies or anything like that. Water tower that have been used for mining.
Blast mining. This is hard rock mining.
Yeah, so that's a negative.
Right. The odds are good that there is water, perhaps down one of the other shafts, just because mining usually releases some upwelling of water somewhere in there. But other than that, it'd be just you have personal water on canteens and such, but not enough.
That's for drinking, not for washing. I'll just speak for a while.
You're probably gonna have to just wait till you get to the first horse trough in Etna and just dive in. just a courtesy splash before you even and take the time to unplug the I don't know if they were called bung holes for water troughs or not, but whatever the stopper is for a water trough.
Double sphincter, bunghole. Come on.
Well, that's what they're called, right? I'm right. That's what they call for kegs and stuff, right?
For barrels, yeah, it's a bung.
Yeah.
And give it a nice refill. But anyway, but yeah, nothing else there. Dr. Trout's examination will take some time. So while that is going on, Gustav, Walt, while Chris is kind of looking around, hoping to find some water, even some sand and dirt would probably
Yeah,
at
that's
least.
where I was going to go. Just something to get the gore
Yeah.
off.
So you start making yourself at least somewhat,
Yeah.
More
And
presentable.
while I do that, has anyone looked at the butcher's knife?
I don't believe anybody's examined that.
I guess that's what I'm about to do.
All right, fair enough.
Makes you want to hold it. Makes you want to touch it.
Now you don't
When you
wanna
start
let it go.
when you start rubbing that up against your cheek, flat side, I'm gonna take it away from you.
Okay.
So go ahead and if you're going to carefully look at it, I would say do a search, please. Difficulty 5. So you're doing a close examination of the blade. So
Would that be more of a scrutinize?
I think scrutinize is more
Yeah.
for a person.
I think it's
So
one of
we're-
the.
I think we're search.
I thought scrutinize was more when you're no, I can't wait till we go back to Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Scrutinize is about motivations and sort of sensing someone's
Yeah.
truthfulness. Searching
All
is a
right,
deliberate
one success.
Yeah. Okay. One success. It is very sharp. It does have some blood on it. The types of blood have not been discovered yet, proverbially speaking. It is known that some bloods work for transfusions and others do not, but it's very sort of haphazard right now. That technology comes through pretty soon, but it's not quite there yet. Same thing with fingerprinting. It's extraordinarily new around this time. Only really a few people are theorizing about it right about now. Oh wow, I'm playing Diablo.
Yeah, if you're talking about the music, I don't hear anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
Weird that just kind of came up.
It's almost appropriate.
But you could understand if there was a thought that it was to be a proxy for the damage that was found on a lot of people. Yeah, this knife will do it. It is razor crazy ass sharp and a very high quality steel. So other than that, it's about 1.5 feet long. Looks like more of what would have been a carving blade of some sort.
Any symbol on it or indication that it was part of a set where we might find the rest of the set, or it's just looks like a.
You find
Standard.
a maker mark on it, but you're not familiar with that particular maker. So it's not a major forging. It came from a minor, so not a large business. Not any maker of knives and such that you know of. But otherwise, it's a knife. Really sharp. Walt, what are you doing?
I'm not well. So sorry, I was kind of tuned out a little bit. So we're still at the pit area. Only Advance is gone. We're digging around the pit area. Have we actually explored the rest of the inside of the mine thoroughly?
Not at all.
Well, that may not be a good idea to do by myself, since I
I wouldn't do that alone.
I know enough about mining as I do about nuclear physics. So
What?
That much, huh?
Not much. Yeah, nuclear and physics. Well, I didn't want to go pit rating like Chris. So I don't know. Maybe I'll take this time to start writing down my how I blazingly, bravely shot, and yeah. I mean, since I got a little downtime in a sense, I'll probably start writing out the key elements of what just happened
Okay.
for a great story. Pulitzer.
All right. You start writing down
Yeah.
the sequence of events and flourishes where you and your trusty sidekick Chris slew a demon of some sort, where the other people of your party watched on with awe.
It was mostly me.
Well, that's what I mean. You and your
Chris
sidekick
helped.
Chris.
Chris helped. Yes. Hero support. Hero support.
That's right. But it will give you it will give you a plus rating to your storytelling once you start getting into Etna and as well as into Coldwater, which you'll want to do a storytelling roles there for character development and lowering terror levels.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Okay, so Vance and Mr. Elks, or well, everybody else can hear some horses arriving to camp, or not to camp, but to pit, for lack of a better term. And Dr. Trout, you determined that, at least with this corpse, as best you can tell, considering the damage of time, elements, and a little bit of scorching. But you see that a male fits largely some of the clothing you recall from how the people in Etna described the miners that were going up. Largely matches the clothing. You find multiple little pokey holes, and you extract several large tubular barbs.
Yeah.
You even in the barb detect on one or two of them there's a sticky substance that when you kind of waft it, it has a sickly sweet smell that is often associated with a poison.
The word you're looking for is pungent.
Pungent, yes.
I will take the pungent. I'll take a few of these and put them in a sample file.
Lastly, you do notice that the body has two very sharp slash marks on it, much like the wound marks that you've seen in the following the dark creature up to the mines. Vance, you show up with Mr. Elks.
So it had the barbs and appeared to have been. Where were the slash marks? Were they fatal?
No, the barbs were definitely the fatal one. Stripes. The barbs with whatever they delivered into the body.
Okay.
I'll write up with Mr. Elks, introduce Mr. Elks to everyone. Say this gentleman has insight on the symbols that were on the mine. I wanted to take him in and show him the one that was prepared in the deeper section. So we're going to head in there.
Y'all got lighting, right?
Oh yeah.
I got my lantern.
Fair enough.
Actually, I think
Um,
mine is still sitting in the hallway where I
Yeah,
where I put it down.
Unfortunately, Larrabee's torches have all went out now.
They were so good, torches.
They were good. They were nice.
They didn't look great, but damn it, they brought fire.
So he stops at the mine entrance first and kind of kicks around some of the boarding and such there, and he confirms a Mason symbol. there, and he's like, okay. I don't know why they tore this apart, but okay, let's go on in. Going on in, you do notice to the left, there was a small box, again, under some debris, and on the box you can see partially marked in a paint, probably done with a stencil paint wooden box that says, Acme Flares.
Wow. That explains where he brought the flares from.
Yes, that's correct. So going in further, you go down to the sort of T intersection. And I guess you take him pretty much. You take him straight to the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Coming around the sort of last corner. Who else with us here? Obviously, Mr. Elks and Vance.
Yeah, I'm there. I think we all are.
Yeah, I thought that was the
Pretty much
assumption.
everybody coming along. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Give me 1 second here.
Everybody wants to know what the heck that symbol is.
Fair enough. Dr. Trout, roll me a spirit roll. Difficulty of 5. It should be pretty straightforward.
Spirits. This I think I can manage. We'll see though. There, yeah, I got it. One race.
1 raise. Okay. You'll perhaps appreciate this a little bit, but you hear, you're not sure from whom or from where even necessarily, but you hear a voice say, "Can you spare some whiskey?"
A voice from.
Somewhere.
Did you guys hear that? Anybody hear? Did someone? A, does someone have any whiskey? And B, did anybody hear somebody talking just now?
Sorry, I was
Yes, I
drinking.
have whiskey.
And no, I didn't hear.
I wouldn't
anything.
mind some whiskey. That's
I
fine.
swear I just heard someone say, "Could you spare some whiskey?" Huh. So,
Right.
Who needs whiskey?
yeah, well, I suppose I should probably have it with, yeah, if you don't mind. Actually, no, actually, I have a flask. I might have, is that what people typically keep in their flask?
Yeah, typically.
All right, so I've got, I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right, I'll look around. Am I seeing anything?
Uh,
Tunnel leading in, right?
the light is starting to go dark on you, Doctor. You're starting to proverbially get sort of a tunnel vision of some sort. Whiskey. You hear again.
I have some whiskey here. And I'll hold out the flask.
Okay, you hold out the flask.
Which I'm sure makes all my friends think I'm going mad. But
Yeah, so
Oh, I keep
So-
walking.
the doctor's slowed down a little bit. Why don't we get a sort of a proverbial marching order? I assume Vance and Elks is pretty much up front.
And I'm right behind Vance.
Okay, so we'll just roll luck here.
I'll probably be in the back as usual, because that's done so well for me lately.
Okay, so actually I'll have Dr. Trout, then Gustav, then Walter. So Gustav, you notice the doctor kind of slows his pace.
Mhm.
You almost not
But we
quite
couldn't hear anything.
stumble into him. You don't hear anything, but you see him kind of go for his I guess the inside of his jacket, and he grabs a flask, and he literally just kind of holds it out there.
Take the top off
you-
and hold it out.
Okay, so you open it.
Yeah.
Dr. Trout, you notice that the flask becomes lighter in your hand. It's less weighty.
to. He's changing the gravity field locally.
Warming
and
out for his
your
homies.
your vision clears up again.
I'll shake the flasks. How peculiar.
Pretty much empty now.
The murder hobo thanks you.
Just gonna confused, scratch my head. Did any of you? Yeah, and then I'll say, did anybody hear anything? And you guys say no.
Everybody says no. Nothing.
Huh. Well, all right. I'll be extra alert to any That's odd. Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I figured,
Someone asked for whiskey. It's the proper thing to do to offer him some.
Steve, I figured you'd appreciate the homage if nothing else. So, okay, so you turn the final corner and you all get to the little stretch of corridor with the barriered section and the plaque of copper that and not braided but sort of twined blonde hair. Dr. Trout, did you mention your connection with that?
This does appear to be the hair of it's the same color and length of the lady of the night that was killed. And so perhaps in addition to no limb. So all right, actually good point. So we found, and the sheriff's here with us, right?
Yeah.
So we know that this thing harvested, collected 2 legs, 2 arms, a torso, a head, and hair. Maybe because she was the only one. She was the only one that died that nothing was taken from.
That we knew at the moment.
So if hair was something that's taken from her, then that would make sense why she fell victim to this murderer. Maybe. Anyway, that's my speculation.
Well, the hair does look an awful lot like that would have came from, and he inserts the appropriate name. I can't remember her name right off the top of my head.
The desert flower.
It's whatever, Maudine, whatever her name is.
Muad'Dib? What?
Muad'Dib. Muad'Dib. If you've ever read the National Lampoon.
That is one of the best parodies. I would rate that higher than Lord of the Rings.
Yep. I agree.
Become quite Haagen-Dazs.
Yeah, the Space Trucking Guild with their
redundancies within redundancies within redundancies.
Makes me want to reread that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, definitely, yeah, it seems like that would be her hair. Don't know why it's here. I mean, it seems like an awfully specific thing to go after. She did have the blondest of the hair in the whole damn town, that's for sure. Hers was natural too. Anyway, so you get up to
Carl, were you the one that was speculating about that we may have made a mistake?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but
so here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking, that if the miners disturbed this place and caused some fell creatures to appear, and it had to be set right, it had to be sealed back up or protected.
Sure.
That I could see obviously there's a value to protecting us from whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand.
But why do you got to murder a bunch of people to make it happen?
That's what I don't understand.
I mean, it's a dark. It's nothing I'm familiar with, but like if you.
This is why we have the esteemed Mr. Elks here. Hopefully, he could shine a light on what's going on here.
I've already done a little pre-rolling here. It goes, describe to me what these murders were all about. What happened there? And I assume we don't need to totally rehash it. You go through the sequence of events as best as you can kind of
Mhm.
recall, which isn't too
Well,
bad, 'cause again-
actually, as you recall, I've been writing all this down,
Oh,
so
that's
I have
true,
a pretty
yeah.
good. I
Here's
have a
my
pretty
first
good-
draft.
that's right.
What do you think?
Chapter 1.
Be honest, but not
Takes out
too
his
hard.
notebook and goes to page 7. And
I would definitely highlight the ritual thing we found in work.
Oh, that's right. You've got a fairly decent even drawing of the symbology, the 12-pointed star in the saloon. Is that correct?
I
In-
believe that's correct, Walt.
In Wirt?
I believe so.
I'm pretty sure you do.
Oh yeah, yeah, yes.
Okay. He takes a look at that. I find my appropriate dice. Oof, got the 9.
And I would also fill him in on the conversation that I had with the thing.
He says it sounds to me like several different rituals have occurred here. Rituals for different purposes. Now, what you saw at work, assuming this drawing fairly accurate, that's a summoning.
Like a horse.
Well, you say that they had different tracks coming in versus going out. Is that correct?
That's correct. And then we got here, we found a horse in the entrance of the mine that, well, it looked like a horse, but it wasn't built like a horse, if you can understand what I'm saying.
Horse, a horse. Unless, of course, the horse is not a horse.
This was no Mr. Ed.
yeah, the horse clearly had the wrong types of musculature.
If the horse had ED,
So
It was like a twisted version of a horse.
this 12-point star, you said the unfortunate victims in work, 6 limbs or portions of body were harvested. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I understand from what y'all said, Doctor, you haven't had a chance to examine it, but I put a good point of next month's earnings of my store on the fact that some of those samplings that you got from the corners of the star, you will probably find, well, they will probably be of human nature.
Like the pots that were harvested were used in the ritual.
Yes. And was there anything else?
There was a horse rib or a portion of a horse.
That'd be in
And if I
symbolic
recall correctly,
magic,
that was in the middle.
that would be the binding factor. So the sacrifice was necessary to, unfortunately, quite a few people necessary of that sacrifice to pull up a new horse as you described it. Now, what happened to the old horse? From how you describe them, seem that when these critters pass on, they largely turn into a goo of some sort, whatever, some sort of remnant, twisted material at the end of its usefulness, and awful. Now this hair, now that seems to have been used for an entirely different purpose. It's for whatever this symbol is. This symbol strikes me as something. I'm gonna have to look in my books for quite a while to determine that. We probably got some time, but I'm not gonna look it up here in dankness of this cave here, or this mine. But it would also seem to be that hair would be part of a different ritual. Now, sheriff says here that she was a natural blonde. Now, from my understanding, if you head out a little bit further into Nebraska, you can find quite a few natural blondes. Around here, not so many natural blondes, certainly not that long a hair. Now, Coldwater is rather far from here, but it's not that far. I can't help but to wonder to think if perhaps this donor of the hair was the closest one of that sufficient length and type that was necessary.
Donor being a generous term.
Well, the intention might have originally been just to simply remove the hair. Got interrupted, panicked. Nature of this beast does not sound like it was particularly kind. Don't get me wrong. I don't think you did the wrong thing by snuffing this critter out. It created quite a bit of carnage. But it doesn't look like it was mindless carnage. It looks like it had intent. So is my guess.
The creatures that we fought at the entrance of the mine, in fact, back in Coldwater, best described as a larva, came out of the poor lady. If I remember correctly, Dr. Trout, when you were examining the body, there were spines in the poor girl's throat, and then as you were pierced by it, and then while you were tending yourself, this broke out. And then when we came up to here, we saw, spider-like spiny creatures, and then the larger cousins or perhaps evolution of it. You know what those are, Mr. Elks?
Got to admit, that one's a bit beyond me.
Because it looks like the bodies in the pit and the bodies of our companions of the other team that were riding through the countryside were killed by those. I also understand that you were one of the ones that originally closed this mine.
That is a fact.
The pit that's in front, was that there when you closed it?
No, nothing of that sort was there.
I had the unfortunate necessity to head into that pit. And while I was waiting, examining the sides, it's almost unnaturally smooth. No blasting marks, no cutting marks. And looking closely at it when I was down there, I found a vein, like purplish quartz material. Now, this was a gold mine originally, correct?
That's correct, sir. Yeah.
Was anything else found here that you can tell us about?
Well,
Why was the mine closed?
we sealed it up mostly at the request of the owner, but it was due to a haunting. Miners wouldn't stay in for more than a couple days before they got the willies, and some got hurt. There were some significant injuries that nobody could particularly explain how the injuries happened. Just uncanny bad luck, if you will. Some people would lose a sense of time. They go in and they come out of a feeder shaft hours and hours later, claiming that only a few minutes passed by. To the point where the cost of hiring workers was too much for what the mine was producing. It was never a high producing volume mine in the first place. But if you had standard workers, it would have been money making. But as rumors got around that this place was sour, nobody wanted to work it for outside of extremely high rates or just darn crazy people.
have you had enough time with this plate here? And do you recommend that we leave it in place, or should we take it with us?
I think until we determine the nature of that plate, we should probably leave it exactly where it is.
I reckon you're right. That was my thought as well, but you seem to be much more knowledgeable in these things than I.
Does anyone know how much deeper this mine might go?
The mine is not extensive, or at least it wasn't when we closed it up, what, 10 years ago. Hard rock mining, by the way, it's tough, slow slogging with the tools that they had at the time. I mean, most of it is hand dug. Sometimes you blast, but blasting even back then, sure as hell wasn't a precise science. It was swinging pickaxes, and it sucked. it was terrible work.
Yeah, what were the OSHA regulations for that in terms of respiration and hard head cover?
One thing Mr. Alex does do is he pulls out a little scrap of paper. You can see some just numberings on it. It looks like just additions, subtractions, whatever. And he pulls out and snaps a matchstick, lights it, puts it near the boarded off area, and you can see the smoke going straight between the slats of the barrier.
Was this tunnel here when you closed it off?
Yeah, except for we didn't close this off. We closed off the main entrance.
The men that came to work this mine, where are they from?
Most of them were Irishmen.
Doc, do you find anything on that body? You're muted, Steve.
I found this photograph. Mon Palm McCready. McRiley, something like that.
J.R. McCready?
So this is one of the bodies that was in the pit. The one that you guys pulled out. It had been killed by the barbs, the barbs with the poison.
I thought this guy was shot.
This is the one.
No, this was
the one you pulled out of the pit had barb poison.
Right. This is the body that we found that.
But the
that man shot in the head.
Oh yeah. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody shot him in the face, right?
So yeah, so right. The body that we found in the tunnel with the bullet holes, that was an Irishman, perhaps. But here's a photograph.
But he was shot while the other victims were.
Well, the one that you pulled out was poisoned.
Quilled.
Was poisoned, but
slashed.
But it also had slashes. But the slashes weren't what killed him.
Yeah.
Right.
But his death is unusual in that it's not like the others. So I think it's safe to say that our former friend was not responsible for him. Haunted, you say?
Well, I have an idea. If we do decide to go deeper into the cave where we see the smoke go, probably a good idea to hire a an accessory, a companion who actually has serious mining skill, which probably can't be too hard to do. We've got plenty of money and there are miners around here. They might have heard the rumors of this mine and of course be like, why is that strangely perfectly cylindrical polished cutout full of bodies? That might throw them off a little.
I think it's a good idea. Mr. Alex, if you have enough, I find a powerful need to get myself clean, and it's been an eventful day.
Yeah, he's kind of listening to you all and nodding when you're saying stuff, but he's looking at this symbol quite closely.
Don't draw it.
And he says, obviously it'd be much easier to research this thing if I had it in hand, but removing it's a bad idea, I think, at least until we know what it is.
What about a charcoal rubbing?
I was thinking the exact same thing, Mr. Anga.
Take a picture, it'll last longer.
and he's got a whole pocket full of pencils because he's constantly making notes and pricing.
Or
and
he's just
stuff
happy to
like
see you.
that.
Well, I mean, I'm sure
Um,
if he doesn't have good paper, I'm a writer, so I've been doing sketches, so I could always give him a decent piece of paper that's large enough.
Okay, so he grabs, thank you very much, Mr. Larrabee, and he puts it up. And says, if one of y'all could hold it, while, and then he does, in effect, yes, effectively well, this would be a copper rubbing as opposed to a brass rubbing, but well, it's not even a copper rubbing because you're not using actual brass against whatever. But yeah, he gets a relief of this thing, and says, all right, well, as I said, there was a shaft here. I don't recall it exiting anywhere though, but I felt a minor draft, and you can see from the smoke that I lit up, it's going somewhere now that's got to expose itself, somewhere, or there wouldn't be a draft in it.
Well, there's lower pressure in there, higher pressure in here, so the air pressure is going where it's lower, I suppose. Okay, so it's 9:56. So
Yeah.
sort of like, so we have some decisions to make. Like, do we hire a miner? Do we go further in the mine? I have a question. This is
Do we
a
leave
stupid
well enough
question.
alone?
Have we? What are our? As I recall, Mr. Swearingen is not the kind of man we want to piss off.
Yeah,
Are we in a position to actually? I can't even remember anymore. Are we in a position to do what we agreed to do? And let me add this:
Well-
we're paid to do.
We
Well-
did do this.
yeah, we came and saw what was here.
So reporting back is probably
Reporting
something
back
we-
is, yeah, there was the mine. The mine seemed to have been reopened, but the people who did it are now dead. I think that's what we tell them.
Okay,
Yep.
so we need to report back. There, okay, so kind of from the game point of view, we need to report back. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get a miner.
So this, by the way, this is a conversation we're not having in front of the other. two.
Right.
Sheriff-
Yeah.
Yes.
Sheriff and
So this is
Mr.
sort of a wrapping up conversation.
Yeah,
So
we'll assume Elks is off to the side. He's poking through books or whatever.
So so one thing we need to make sure that if that purple stuff is indeed ghost rock, it would probably be best, and we need to emphasize it to the sheriff and to Mr. Aiken, is that his name? That this is probably a place that shouldn't be disturbed, and if people find out there's ghost rock here, it will be disturbed, probably to everyone's peril. So we might want to fill the pit. and
Well,
we
there's
can-
enough clink and trailings from the original mine where you could probably, it would take some effort.
that would be a metric fuck. That would be
Yeah.
a lot of work. I mean,
Yeah.
that would be like hire the Irish immigrants. I mean, that's like a chain with wheelbarrows. That's probably
Oh,
You know,
because the
that's
Irish
probably-
love to bury the Irish.
And
well.
Oh.
But my point is, that's not. Hey,
Chinese.
let's just get a wheelbarrow and we'll fill this pit that's 40 feet across and 50
Yeah.
feet deep. You could do it, but I mean, that's probably hundreds
Well,
of man hours of work.
But we don't have a choice. Those people need to be buried.
yeah,
Well,
well, we're not
but
doing
we-
it right now.
I'm a writer. I'm not a laborer.
And
So
Yeah,
we need to
that's-
hire
But,
some.
but you are a Christian man, aren't you?
Maybe. As I
Yes.
as I
Uh,
hold
we-
my towel as my Star of David. Yes, no, I happen to be Christian. My character does. But so all right, so we're talking about we don't want it to be disturbed. We don't. There might be
Well,
ghost rock.
We don't want undue interest in the mine.
Well, like for example, nothing of this earth that any of us can even dream of could have made this hole, and the tailings for that would be gone. So there's no way. I mean, so there's that ghost rock. The whole it's
well,
that's
unknown
assuming
mineral.
you can even access it, right? Isn't it all just like polished, heat blasted dirt or something? I mean, did anyone actually try to chip away?
No,
No.
Exactly. I mean, no one had the cojones to do that. So
I
the
didn't have
things,
the tools to do that.
so I mean, I that's another reason why I think we need to get a miner, somebody who might know ghost rock, somebody that we can pay to be discreet, and then we can check this out. And then if we check going further into the mine, and in the meantime, somebody or at least two of us reporting, because we shouldn't travel alone, reporting back to Swearingen. And while we're getting Swearingen, we probably pick up some miners And in the meantime, you could ask the townspeople or Elks, maybe potentially to set up like a watch to make sure nobody goes into the because it's not far from the town, right? It's really close,
So
right?
it's like a mile and a half.
Yeah, so we just have a few guys camp out here and make sure nobody comes in, and then we come back within a few days with hopefully some skilled miners and laborers.
Vance, you
Just
got
sail
the
on.
feeling that Mr. Elks is not the only Mason that he's in semi-regular contact with, so he could
Yeah.
probably get a few people of like-minded interest to keep watch.
Yeah. And on top of that, I don't think too many people are going to be coming around here. I mean, if you really want to keep people away, let everyone know that all the miners were massacred because this place is cursed.
That would,
Guess what? People will stay the fuck away.
yeah, you could
They all
use
they
your
all went they
tall-
all went crazy and killed each other.
You could use
Actually,
your
I'm
tall-
thinking that may have happened.
you know, well, you could use your telling skills. I mean, typically the reason why you want to do a tall telling skill is to lower the terror, right? You tell how the good guys won
Raise
a
the
minor
terror.
battle and cleaned up the whatever, right?
I go
Um,
to where the story takes me.
Nothing saying that you couldn't use it for the exact opposite reason.
So the good news is no one's going near it. The bad news is the terror levels at
Well,
13.
I mean, realistically, we're in the middle of nowhere. So why would there be like a stampede to get here in the first place? I mean, why would people all of a
Well-
sudden be interested in coming here? Which is
They were
why I
probably
was thinking a
paid-
discreet watch would be more useful.
Mm.
And until we get a miner and we learn more in the mine and what that purple stuff is, and then that'll dictate whether or not we even want to hire laborers to fill it, which is a major amount of work. Totally doable, but a major amount of work.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have a third party involved, right? Of this mine. Well, possibly even yet one more, but from Vance's
The guy who wanted the
discussion
whiskey.
with Swearinger was fairly convinced that George Hurst was involved in some way, shape, or
I
form.
thought he owned the mine.
No, George Hurst does not own the mine.
Okay, I thought. Okay,
Uh,
I think it's Swearinger, whatever. But anyway, so I think we have and of course the other issue is converting to a different game system as we go forward. So like I
Yeah.
said, so Greg doesn't know anything. Greg,
Well, that's not fair to
in
say he doesn't know
so
anything,
many
but-
tragic ways. But Lawman Greg, that's what he's gonna be. You're gonna be Lawman Greg. That's what I'm gonna. Lawman Greg doesn't know anything about Call of Cthulhu, so I know enough that I could probably take a whack at doing my character. But if you you probably have our latest character, so maybe it would just make sense if you.
Yeah, I don't have the books that you would.
I
If you
think what I could probably do is kind of do a
You want
shot at it.
7th generation?
Yeah, we'll try to be using 7th, but just because
That's
where
0-1 skills for, or is I can't remember. Is that everything is?
everything's
I'm old school.
multiplied
I
by
like
5.
6. Everything's what?
Everything's multiplied by 5. So
Yeah, everything's percentiles.
yeah,
So like your strength, if it's an 18, it would be a 90.
It'd be 90.
yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
I'm a
pretty
Luddite. I
straightforward.
like the old system. I'm
You
okay.
know, I mean, but
Sure.
outside of that sort of visual kind of like, whoa, it's all pretty much still the same.
Well, skills level is
insofar
0-1. I always hated that if you know nothing about nuclear physics, you fucking know nothing about nuclear physics. You don't get a 1% chance. That was a little fundamental difference. All right, but that's game mechanics aside.
Yeah,
So
that's beside the point.
So if you do that, if you take a shot at that, then we could tweak it.
Yeah,
And then Greg, Lawman Greg, you'll pick up the Call of Cthulhu system is pretty intuitive. And people,
Okay. I'm
I mean,
also fine with using a pre-baked character if they have like sheets of different character.
Well,
No, I
this
mean,
is just
you're-
converting
we're
your
al-
existing
we're already-
character over.
yeah, we'll
Yeah.
convert the current characters just simply
Okay.
over to that system.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, and as I say, a lot of the skills in these character sheets, there is a direct analogy. You know, it's
Okay.
search is search, nice.
I think.
You know, I mean,
I think the trickier one is
the
converting
frickin'
all of the skills,
trait.
not the skills, the traits.
I mean,
over.
there's 10 of them. I mean, what's the difference? Is strength, spirit? I mean, spirit and vigor, I guess, is your constitution, but then you got quickness and nimbleness, or effectively combine the two, and that's your dexterity. Mean, I guess. I mean, what's going to end up being power, cognition, intelligence. But
And
you
then the
literally
other
have,
trick is that the
Spirit,
dice
power.
indicating levels.
I think that's spirit and power is pretty analogous to each other.
yeah, if you come up with somebody has like for example, mean, my mean, M-I-E-N, how you pronounce that is 3D12. I have a 4 in persuasion, so I probably have a pretty damn good persuade, but you're gonna have to somehow, scale, what's 3D6 versus 4D12.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll just have to kind of swag it, because at the end of the day, is if you come up with some kind of system and you play it systematically, and you're the marshal or the keeper, are going to describe it,
Yeah,
unless
it'll
we have
stay
a
the
strong
same.
issue, then it'll probably be fine.
Yeah, and as long as I apply the same kind of ruling across the board, I don't, it should hold, without any problem. And yeah, you're right. I mean, 10 traits versus whatever 6 or 7 in Call of Cthulhu land. There's no wind in Call of Cthulhu.
Thank God.
No
dice explosion.
Right, no dice explosions, but as I say, it introduces, a sanity factor that is pretty loose in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the hallmark of Call of Cthulhu. Either, if you do well and learn more, your sanity goes down. It's
Right.
the old, if you have all the good books, you read them, it's magic, but then you go and sit, you're already close to being insane. So
The more dark secrets you know, the more disturbed you become.
yeah,
Ignorance is bliss.
Oh, very
Now,
much
I have
so.
I have a question on the combat. Are you? I mean, I never figured out for the life of me that whole System 7 combat system where you actively resist against people. I love the old initiative system where you just worked your way down. I had my own take on it, but I never, like the flow charts for how to do combat. The System 7 combat to me could be just as buggy as the old system I know like the back of my hand, but then I never learned the new system. That's my point. Are you envisioning, or do you really know the System 7 combat initiative system, or are you thinking the older one?
I will probably, as far as the combat thing, just roll with the older one, just because
it works
again,
great.
It worked fine, and there's no reason to, I mean, I'll probably peruse the new one again just to kind of, okay, no, it's still too clunky. And the whole, part of the point of this is to remove the clunkiness out of the combat system.
Exactly. I mean, to me, the best thing I don't like System 7 with the multiply by 5. I don't use that. But to me, the best thing is the whole concept of like a hard, half of your skill roll is hard, and then critical. And if you really want to, it's really important. You can say, whatever, you add the extra 10-sided dice. So if you have the advantage, you get 2d10, and then you take the better of the 10s.
Yeah.
But if you blow it, still something bad will happen. So
Yeah.
I mean, you get what they call it, pushing a roll. It's basically one per session or campaign, or however that works out. However you
Yeah,
work.
you can push a roll, and then you also get to spend luck.
Yeah, I don't even remember how to do that.
So, but yeah, I think we'll go ahead and do that. As I say, I'll find a functional PDF for everybody, and we'll throw around some stuff back and forth over the next couple days. And
By the way, we're still recording.
A decent balance. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap out the recording here. So let's stop that.